Yo, what is up, you guys? Andres17 here once again with another video. AEW with another great rating this past Wednesday. 1 million viewers. Man, so where do I start? You know, obviously it's Fyter Fest, and it was part one of Fyter Fest, which is always, you got to think about it. It's always so good to be given pay-per-view style fights or match cards for free. And not only that, AEW does these specials quite often. So they really do treat the fans. I do want to, kind of point that out. They do less pay-per-views, which leads to more of a time frame for storylines to develop. And in the meantime, they fill in the less pay-per-views per se by doing these special type of events. And Fyter Fest it's a great combo, pretty much, right? It's always like a 2-episode pay-per-view, but for free. And there's so many more that they do all the time. And with the signings of Andrade, Aleister Black, who is now known as Tommy N, or I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but those two signings alone from NXT per se, talents that weren't really pushed, they just look like stars. Like they look like money in AEW, and they haven't even they haven't even wrestled too much. They just made their debut, so they really look like they're already being used a lot better. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is specifically, but I do think AEW brings a different type of feel to the show. It definitely doesn't feel like a regular WWE show, because that's what I'm accustomed to. This feels like a UFC boxing type of event. The way they set it up, the way they style it, the way the lights are dim, just everything they have set up is just provides a different type of vibe, and I really, really do like it. The pyro is not the best, but I'm sure that's where they save some money there. So that's fine. I'm not going to give them too hard of a, critique on that area. But other than that, AEW has been firing on all cylinders ever since they were able to get crowds back. You are really seeing the crowds like really into the show. And it makes such a big difference. It really does, especially in wrestling. Like this past show, Fyter Fest Part 1, the crowd was live. Like every single match, the crowd was live. Like for the whole 2 hours, it was live, and it just made every match so exciting. And it was like an electricity going throughout the whole show. And it was great. It was great to watch. I haven't seen wrestling like that in a very long time. Even in WWE, when they had crowds, it just doesn't feel the same. And it just feels like more of an adult show. WWE feels more like a kid's show. And that's just the truth. So I'm really happy for AEW. They're doing everything right. I'm sure, not everything right, but they're doing a lot of things right. They're bringing in talent, and even the veteran talent, they're not putting at the very top. They're putting them, they have to work their way up, or if not, they have Chris Jericho working like in the midsection of the card. They have Sting. He's there kind of like just a manager type of role for Darby Allin, which is great. Like they're there, but they're not there to take away the spotlight from this younger talent. And that's exactly what you want. Everybody was critiquing them for bringing back old talent. That, people critique WWE for doing that. Look, AEW. Totally different. WWE brings them back, and they're like at the very top of the pinnacle, and they get title shots right away. They get WrestleMania main events right away. Totally different. Here, AEW's bringing in older talent, but they're utilizing them a whole different way. They're almost using them as a stepping stone for the younger talent to gain that, kind of just pick their brains per se, and at the same time elevating their status, which is what you want. It's like you get best of the both worlds, right? You get to see the older talent which you're familiar with, and at the same time you're watching a younger prodigy rise up in their place. So kudos to AEW. They're doing it in a very well, just a good way. They're doing it in a very good way. And then they have this show, AEW Rampage, premiering, I believe it's Friday 13th of August. I'm pretty excited about this show. The trailer is lit. I really like the trailer. I've watched it like 5 times already, and I don't know. I really like the trailer, and hopefully the trailer is not more than the show, like, the hype and stuff. Sometimes it can be that way. They just make such a good trailer. They have such high expectations, but I know it's an hour long. I mean, I don't know. I would like it to be a little bit different than the norm of wrestling shows. What I'm thinking, based on what they said in the trailer, is it's gonna be less mic talking and just straight to the matches. But I mean, they already kind of do that in the Dark shows, I believe. I've watched several Dark and Elevation, and they kind of do that already. There's not a lot of talking. So I don't know. I really do think that it's going to be more fast-paced. I don't know if they'll have like certain stipulations. I don't know if they'll have like Rampage will have like its own champion. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to make it different. But hopefully they make it to where it's different and they make it intriguing. They don't make it like a B show. They make it like an A show. Sure, it probably won't be as great as Dynamite, but at least something relatively close to it. You don't want to just have the dark stars in Rampage, because it's going to dilute the whole show, and, people are going to start watching Rampage, after first couple weeks. So hopefully they keep it where they make it competitive. They still bring in the big names from Dynamite onto Rampage. And I don't know. Hopefully they get creative with it. And I'm sure they will, because they've done some really good stuff. So, man, I just want to give out kudos to, shout out some kudos to them. They've been great, and hopefully they can keep it going, because wrestling sure does need this. I'll tell you that. Wrestling has not felt the way it feels on AEW. It has not felt like that in a very long time. And it's great as a fan to watch that. And I don't know. I mean, even just like the show, like, for example, Fyter Fest Part 1, it does not feel like... I remember watching TNA, what they had going on, which is like the next biggest competition they had compared to WCW. No, AEW feels like a big player. They don't feel like an indie show anymore. They feel like a big player now. You see the stadium, they are packed, and that set is big, and it's live, and they really feel, like a competitor to WWE. Sure, money-wise, I'm sure, it's totally different. WWE is a juggernaut, but they're heading in the right direction. If you think about it, in 1 year, they've been able to accomplish this. That's pretty big. And, hopefully they can keep it going. And, yeah, so those are my thoughts on the show. Let me know what you guys think. Be great if you commented down below, and share and like the video. So I'll see you guys in the next one. And, yeah, peace out.